So there's a story here that we're going to get to in a little bit about Tennessee Democrats after a very prominent mass shooting that happened in a Tennessee school. Some elected officials went out there and protested for gun reform. Standard operating procedure, run-of-the-mill stuff, makes perfect sense. Well, the Republicans there are so extremely authoritarian that they decided, what if we expelled them from government because of this peaceful protest, which is their First Amendment right? Insane stuff. Again, we'll get to that story in a little bit, but CNN's Dana Bash had on a Republican politician from Tennessee to talk about, a number of issues, but including now the abortion pill overreach from a conservative federal judge who said, we're just going to ban the abortion pill now. Even though, it's used for miscarriages as well. It's used early on in a pregnancy. We're just going to ban that. And what you're going to see here is a politician who realizes their position is so immensely unpopular that they have to, tap dance and do gymnastics and bend over backwards and do a little jig in order to get out of the uncomfortable zone where they know they are disliked. So let's watch and we'll break it down as we go.
My next guest broke with his own party, the GOP, after gun safety measure passed in Congress. He supported that. Of course, that came after a mass shooting in Uvalde, Texas, where 21 people were killed. He represents Uvalde, and he is here with me now, Texas Republican Congressman Tony Gonzalez. Thank you so much for joining me. I want to talk.
My bad. So this one is not from Tennessee. This one is from Texas, but they're going to bring up, watch, she brings up a number of issues, and he has to weasel his way out of it.
About guns in a minute, but first, I do want to ask about that bombshell ruling from a federal judge in your home state of Texas, revoking the FDA approval for the abortion pill mifepristone. You're an outspoken opponent of abortion rights, but are you at all concerned that this sets a dangerous precedent that any single judge can simply overrule scientific agencies as they see fit?
Dana, thank you for having me, and happy Easter from San Antonio. A special shout out to a happy birthday to Jackie, my 4-year-old. He's our Easter baby. On this ruling, I have 6 children. I'm a prolific pro-lifer, and I think it's important that we protect the sanctity of life. I believe in state rights. Here in Texas, we have a heartbeat bill that was passed, and I think it's important that states dictate their futures, and we have to have the courts uphold these. I mean, it's very dangerous when you have the administration, the Biden administration, coming out and saying they may not uphold a ruling.
Okay, that already makes no sense. So he says, hey, states' rights, man. I'm all about states' rights. You got to let the states decide. But if you believe in states' rights, you should be criticizing the federal judge who said, we're going to ban the abortion bill for the entire country. So the judge is not saying leave it up to the states. The judge is saying ban it everywhere. So the principle that you espouse, states' rights, would mean you should criticize this federal judge, but he doesn't. He skips right over the federal judge and goes to Biden and says, Biden said he won't, abide by the ruling. That's crazy. But hold on, there was another court which said the exact opposite and said the pill is allowed everywhere. So of course he's going to go with the interpretation that he more agrees with. Already super confused, doesn't know a way out, struggling.
Appropriator on the House Republican side, I look at it. The House Republicans have the power of the purse, and if the administration wants to not lead this ruling, not live up to this ruling, then we're going to have a problem. And it may come a point where House Republicans on the appropriation side have to defund FDA programs that don't make sense.
You said that you want this to be states' rights, but isn't a federal judge saying that on a national level that a pill cannot be administered the opposite of states' rights?
Well, the states started this. The states had their ruling, and now the federal government is coming in and dictating theirs. I think it's important that we have to get back and allow our institutions to lead. We can't undermine them when we don't agree with things that are there.
Okay, but if you want to allow our institutions to lead, then why do you ever criticize Biden for anything? Because he's part of our institutions, and he's the president, and he has a tremendous amount of authority. And if you want to do, respect the institutions, then you would say that whether it's the Supreme Court or the president or Congress doing something. But no, if you disagree with something the president does or Congress does, all of a sudden your institution love is out the window. He doesn't know whether he's coming or going, man. He's crashing and burning.
It's on the state level. Look, I'm from Texas. We don't have marijuana here. Marijuana's in California and other places. If those are the kind of things that your community wants, then work it through your state, work it through the federal level. But we have to uphold our institutions. It's dangerous when we erode them.
I want to move on, but I just want to point one important thing out, which is that mifepristone isn't just used for abortion. It's also frequently prescribed for women experiencing a miscarriage. And by some estimates, as many as 1 million women miscarry every single year. So are they just on their own if this ruling is upheld?
No, I think it's important that we take care of women, and it's important that we have real discussions on women's health care and get off the abortion, get off the abortion conversation. Women have a whole lot more other issues than just abortion. And let's have those real conversations, and let's talk about the other things that are happening in this world. I've got a picture of Amelia and Maria. They recently passed away.
What?
Weeks ago, due it to a smuggler in my district. What does that mean? That means there's all these other things happening in the world, especially in my district. I've got a district that's turned upside down due to this border crisis. There's everyday people that are impacted on this crisis, to include the Tambungas.
Well,
that was a total dodge. Total dodge. You're talking about abortion. He's like, bro, I love women. I care about women. Women, there's a lot of women's issues beside abortion. Like the border, for example. Bro, look at this picture. What?
both things can be true. Everyday people can be affected by all of these issues facing Americans.
But, okay, yeah, and also, you want to hold up a picture of somebody who died because of the border crisis, killed by a smuggler or whatever he's talking about here. We can bring up countless examples of women who've died from back alley abortions in states where it's illegal. Should Dana Bash hold up one of those and be like, look at this. What do you think of this? It's so cheap. It's such a weaselly, slimy politician way out of it. Now, by the way, why is he doing this? You guys know the answer. He's doing this because abortion politics for the right are abysmal. That's one of the reasons why they got draxed in the midterms when it should have been a red wave, right? Is because you had the Roe versus Wade decision, which cut against them. That was a huge issue. In some exit polls, abortion was the number one issue in some states. That's crazy, man. That's never been the case before. But now, since a right-wing Supreme Court got rid of Roe versus Wade, the Republicans are tarred with that. And now you have a decision where a conservative federal judge is striking down the abortion pill, even though it's used in miscarriages too, even though it's used early on in the pregnancy. This is not late term that we're talking about. And he's out there sort of semi-defending it incoherently, but then also tripping over his own dick and making it... What about the border, bro? Have you thought about the border? That's got nothing to do with anything, man. That wasn't the conversation at hand. Oh my God. Look, they're scared of their own shadow now. They don't know how to react because this stuff is killing them in the polls. It's killing them. And he's aware of it. He knows it. That's why that was such an inartful dodge. But there you have it. Total and utter mess. If you want to see me and Crystal Ball interview legends like Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, and more, subscribe to Crystal, Kyle, and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video version a day early. Remember, we take 0 ad dollars for this podcast. Or you can sign up on Substack for free and get the audio version a day later. Link in the video description box below.